Okay, I am back. I'm going to do, this video is going to be a quick rundown on what I've got going for August, so kind of an August update kind of thing. Talk about what I've got going on right now and what I've got coming up. So first, as you can see here, I've got the Tamiya Panzerkampfwagen 4 Ausf D that I'm working on. I've got it painted and I've got it clear coated, and next up I'm going to work on the decals. I may try that tomorrow. Today I've got a wedding to go to later on, so I won't be doing any modeling today, but I'll try and get the decals on tomorrow, then I can do a wash on it and start weathering it. And my goal is to have that completed by or during next weekend. So once I get that done, I can do like a final updated video of the completed kit, my thoughts on it. After that, the next kit I'm going to build is going to be the Revell, whoops, backwards camera, Messerschmitt BF109G10 in 1/32 scale. This is the new kit, or relatively new. My son actually hipped me to this one, and it looks like a really nice kit. For the amount of money that you pay for it, you get a really nice kit. It doesn't have an engine or anything like that, but that's no big deal, because generally, even if they do, I don't display them with the engine open yet. So this kit looks nice. It's going to be the first 1/32 scale kit I've built since about '84, and the kit that I built then in 1/32 scale was the I think it was the Revell P51. It was Gentili's plane, the one that had the woodpecker with the boxing gloves or whatever it was. I had fun building that kit, but I didn't really know that much about, the accuracy and all that, and it looked kind of weird, and the surface detail on it, like the rivets and stuff, I mean, there were just hundreds and hundreds of rivets really protruding off the surface, but I didn't know any better, and I thought it was kind of cool, so I had fun building it. It was pretty cool. And the 1/32 scale kit I had built prior to that in aircraft was the, I think it was Revell again, Ju-87 Stuka, and I think it was a desert version, if I remember correctly. It was tan, and it had the a really long snake-looking decal on the side of it. I really liked that kit, and at the time, if I was in junior high, 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that, and I thought that was the most awesome kit. It was a lot of fun building a big kit like that. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to building it. I know there's some aftermarket available for it, but I'm not sure I'm really going to get any of it. I think if I do, it will probably be the exhaust. I may get some of the resin parts for mainly the exhaust, because the fact that these aren't hollowed out is kind of somewhat disturbing. I like them hollowed out, and I'm not as steady as I used to be, so hollowing out myself, that may not be possible. So anyway, that's the next kit I've got coming up. Another recent acquisition that will be coming up after that, and this will round out the entirety of my stash, since I'm not a believer in huge stashes, will be the Tamiya Panther D, the new tool version. Saw a review on this, and this is the first time in my life I've ever bought a kit when it first came out, when it was first released. I saw this one, I thought, I've got to have that one, because I've always liked the Panther. As a matter of fact, the first Tamiya kit I built was the I think it was the Ausf A version. It had the crazy little flap for the driver to see out of, but then it had the ball mount machine gun. I posted something about it on Google Plus, and somebody enlightened me as to which one I had built back then, because it was so long I couldn't remember. I thought it was this a version of this, but it wasn't. It was the one that has the ball mount here for the bow machine gun. But that was the first Tamiya kit I built. That was 77 or so, 77, 78. First Tamiya kit I built. Up to that point, I had only built the Monogram Armor series, and I had read about Tamiya in some of the magazines, and I thought, I've got to build one of those. So I went to a local hobby shop here in town, and they had two of them actually. One came with English instructions, and one came with Japanese instructions. One of the Japanese instructions was actually a little bit cheaper, like $5-10 cheaper. Why? I don't know, but that's the way it was. So I bought the one with Japanese instructions because I had enough confidence in building other armor kits that, knowing that they pretty much go together all the same. And it worked out really well. And I remember one of the things I thought was really kind of cool was the fact that you could, open this flap, had like a hinge. You could open the commander's hatches and the hatch on the back of the turret. I thought that was really cool that you could actually open up those hatches. Why? I don't know. There was no interior or anything, but it was just, moving parts. I really dug it. So anyway, this is the next one I'm going to build. I'm not sure on the time frame, because I don't know if you've noticed, but it takes me a while to get kits done, especially depending on how work goes and so on. So as soon as I get the Messerschmitt done, I'll be working on that. And one more note on the Messerschmitt is I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with this one as far as markings. My son hipped me to some photos, and I thought, what, that's the way to go. So I'm going to keep that as a surprise until the very end. I'll be doing updates on the build and painting and thoughts on the process, and do a little review of the kit, as I get started. But as far as the markings, I will let you know on those. So I think that is pretty much it. That's my update. I'll be putting up another video here pretty soon on the Panzer IV with the next steps that I've accomplished, and kind of update everybody on that. And then I've also got a couple of more videos I'm going to put up pretty soon. One of them, I'm not going to tell you what that one's going to be, but it'll be kind of more of general modeling interest, something that just about anybody could watch and maybe learn something. It's not going to be any how-to or anything like that. It's going to be kind of an informational deal. But anyway, I'll be putting that up soon. Let's just say it's a tribute of sorts, okay? And then I also want to do a video on one of my other hobbies / passions, and that is I want to discuss genealogy, military genealogy to be specific. Particularly dealing with my my grandfather and his service. I've got some memorabilia that I'm going to video and show that to you. So anyway, that's coming up soon, and I just wanted to give everybody an update for August, and hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time on Plastic Models by Regular Dude.